Melanie, has the green initiatives started to make its way into the supply chain, and is that something that's now even beginning to be taught?
Yeah, actually it is. And as I was thinking about this question, I am the mean instructor who makes her students answer her questions for her. So we spent last Thursday in the current topics class talking about green and green in the supply chain. And we came up with kind of 3 general areas that we were looking at, which is what could green do for the Northern Nevada logistics industry? What would it mean to be green, and what would it take to go green here? And you know, the first thing is you know, Russ mentioned that we are becoming less attractive as a distribution center, and some of his 3PL competitors that I've heard speak at some other events are saying the same thing. And if we look at green as an order winner, something that puts us ahead of the competitor, it could definitely make Northern Nevada more attractive if we made that an emphasis in our warehousing and distribution and in our transportation to be a green industry. What would that mean? Well, you know, you were talking about some of that space that's empty and waiting for people to move into it. Possibly that's looking at upgrading those to LED lights. LED lights use less energy, makes the facility more cost effective, and it also increases employee safety because they're brighter. They can be sensitized to motion so that they can actually come on and off faster than even the old motion sensor lights that have been out there previously. We can look at how we're cooling and heating those buildings and look at ways to make that more efficient, more effective, and to use newer technology. And you know, some people have been talking about, you know, green technologies and bringing in the manufacturing for that, but how are we using those renewable resources in our warehousing and distribution facilities? All of those could make this economy more attractive because industry has finally realized that it is more cost effective to be green, and suppliers actually are putting a lot of pressure on their distributors to be green, as well as consumers are putting pressure on them. So it can, again, like I said, it was saying, make us more competitive. And so how would we get there? Well, one of the things that my students found in their reading is that small businesses and medium-sized businesses are challenged in making the move to green. And so they need supporting external resources. And so that's looking at the education system. Both TMCC and UNR have put in new renewable energy programs. But also, you know, what can we have as far as support and resources for our small and mid-sized businesses that would allow them to go green? Looking at, you know, you were talking about the architects and the structure of our buildings. That's another thing where we could increase the level of business here. We could attract a whole different subsidiary business, which would be architecture and green architecture. When I was doing some research on a building for TMCC, the only green architect that's even close to here is there's 2 in the San Francisco area that specifically work on green buildings. And that's an industry that we could develop here. We have an excellent architecture program. We have the excellent renewable energy programs in education. And that's a place where we could look to draw more businesses into the Northern Nevada economy as a whole. So green definitely could be an order winner for the Northern Nevada logistics community. And we can create the resources here or attract the resources here that would make that very viable for us. And so, you know, the general consensus from my students was green would be good.